friends. We see the some of you snuck in, and it's fine. You know why? Because that's on us. Sometimes in life, there's like a concert or a film screening or something where you arrive there and someone lets you in, and they weren't supposed to, but because they let you in, you deserve to be there.
Yeah, and you just so happen to be wearing the same jackets that all the security guards are wearing, and you have one of the same colored wristbands that everyone else has. So, it just happens.
Yeah. Do you think anyone has ever done like a car thievery thing where they dress up like valets and go to nice hotels? You know what I mean? And like just step in front and like, oh, hello there, and they just steal the car.
Yeah, I think it's probably happened before, but I bet that most valets have enough like camaraderie within themselves to kind of like outstout like the newcomer. Like it takes like you have to really work into like, oh yeah, I'm covering for so and so. Yeah, there's a reason you've never seen me before. Like it's a pretty multi-layered lie. But maybe before
it's like if we were making a Wisecrack video and I got to the studio and someone was there and they were just like, "What's up? I'm Brandon. I'm in for Evan today. I'm using the gear." I would be like, "Wait a second, Brandon. I've never heard of you." So if you are here by accident, let's think of this as, so they do a thing sometimes. They used to do this when I was a kid where HBO would do like a free week, or there'd be a free week on basic cable where you would get like HBO, Showtime, Cinemax. And it would either be like, A, I'm going to watch all these movies. B, when mom and dad go to bed, I'm going to watch Cinemax at 1 a.m. just to see. I'm just being honest. That was a part of life. But so this is one of our patron hangouts. If you're a patron, you know the deal. This is a thing we do every couple weeks. And we just kind of catch up. We talk about comments and recent videos. We see what's going on in the chat. We let you know what's coming up. We talk about what everyone's reading, watching, playing, eating. Probably most importantly, we do talk about lunch on this stream. So wherever you are in the world, we get into that. John's here. He says, would be cool to be a valet to drive fancy cars for like 2 minutes. I did think that at the beginning of Shang-Chi, I was like, they're having fun. Yeah. Milos, you're not supposed to be here, but you're here and you can stay. The engineer said, do another Attack on Titan analysis. They're still the final half of the final season. So that'll probably happen. RT's first, always first. So this is the 30th one. What do you want for your life when you're 30, Evan? Like, fast forward, you're turning 30. Where do you want to be then? Let's manifest some truth.
Oh, man. When I'm 30, I don't know. I don't want to manifest anything because when I try to manifest things, I think it usually goes the opposite of what.
So you're afraid you're gonna like jinx yourself? You're gonna be like, I want to like direct this movie, and then you're instead gonna be like in prison.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, pretty much that.
Okay. How about this then? When you're 30, what do you hope your birthday meal is? What are you eating on your 30th birthday?
Something that that currently at my age now would be hesitant to spend that amount of money on.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah, something where it's like, besides that, it's like, it's like my birthday, but like feeling comfortable being like, okay, besides that this is being a treat, I can comfortably say I can afford XYZ meal tonight. That is like a very good, for like $4 sign, $5 sign restaurant. Who's to say?
Yeah, amazing. That's cool. When I was 30, I had my 30th birthday dinner at my favorite restaurant in Chicago, and it was a fun one because it was a dinner where I had like both my partner, who's now I'm about to marry. She was there. Some of my old high school friends, some cousins, some current friends. It was like a nice little crew, and everyone got along really well.
Nice.
So that was like a nice feeling to see. Like it's probably like 8 or 9 people, but everyone just vibed really well. Yeah. And then a few months after I turned 30, I ended up finding out I was moving to England. So I spent half of my years 30 living in England, teaching philosophy at a university there. And it did feel a little bit like, okay, I'm 30. I'm now starting this kind of serious academic job. It kind of felt like halfway through the age of 30 was like, well, it's time to grow up, Michael. And now I'm older than that, and I have to do things for work sometimes, like watch anime on 1.5 speed. So, everyone, sometimes you think life's going one way and it's another way. Hold on, I have to do one thing. I hate doing. Okay, so we got a good amount to talk about. Everyone, thanks for being here again. I'll say this too. We put out a video today on Squid Game. Oh, I will say this. I have an answer for this. Dude Abide says first dinner in England. There was a place called Pie and Mash or something like that in Bristol, England, where I lived. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go super English. So I went to this place and I got like sausage, mashed potatoes, nice. A couple sides. But then to drink, they had Brooklyn Lager on tap. So I was like, I'll get an American beer with my very English meal. And I will just say that jet lag, moving anxiety, and a plate of sausage, gravy, and potatoes does not for a nice first evening make.
Oh no.
Do what you want with that. Do what you want with that info. So we did put out a Squid Game video today. We're excited about that. We all had a fun time watching it. I assume everyone else has. So if you haven't checked out the Squid Game video yet, do it. And then let us know what you think. And if you have watched it, let us know what you think here.
And let us know in the chat too if you don't want us to say any Squid Game spoilers. Because it might come up.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah, we can wait. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so let's start with, we did an adult animation video. I like videos like this. It was a video about how adult animation has become, I wouldn't say like a form of therapy, because clearly we're not saying like, hey, if you have issues with like mental health, don't go to a therapist, watch BoJack Horseman. But what we're getting at is the idea that a lot of these shows are kind of really seriously exploring themes of mental health and trauma and anxiety and depression and, a lot of things that I think like the generation previous of adult animation shows was not going to jump into, So yeah, we made a video about that. I thought it was very good. Our writer Ross in Scotland wrote it, and we got comments.
Yeah, Crazy Jimmy says, never stop asking why, Wisecrack. We love you. And Crazy Jimmy, we love you too. Book Sweetheart said, never cried like I cried in BoJack Horseman episodes. This show melts the coldest hearts. I think I agree with that. I think that the BoJack show is was like one of the last shows that I felt really surprised by. I don't know how you feel about that, Michael.
Yeah, I mean, BoJack was like, I mean, I think even after season 1, I didn't know it was going to go where it went,
Yeah.
And there was parts of that show that were so emotionally impactful. And there's things that they did that, and to be clear, like, I'm not trying to act like people that make TV shows are like, humanitarians or whatever. But I think the makers of BoJack Horseman did some brave things.
Yeah.
And took some really big choices and chose to, especially in the later seasons when it dealt with the fact that BoJack had done some really horrible things. And then the show sticks with him to talk about like what it means to, I don't know, I think it took a lot of empathy to even be like, BoJack, this powerful man, did a bunch of shitty stuff. What does it mean to stick with him on his journey and watch him process that?
Yeah, 100%. I really feel like watching that. I actually never finished the series though, but I feel like I know it all because of all the videos we've done. But I would love to go back and really give the series its like due diligence and watch every episode from the beginning again and take my time with it too, and like not.
Yeah. And they ended it on a good note, I think that was the one thing, like, I think by the penultimate episode or a couple before the finale is like, how are they going to stick this landing? I thought they did a pretty good job.
I think that's a common trope with most TV shows, right? Like a lot of people feel like the couple episodes leading up are like the strongest ones before the finale. I've seen articles about that with like, I mean, Breaking Bad obviously has a very strong finale, but some of the episodes prior are pretty good. Mad Men, I do agree, is like that. Do you feel that way too, or?
I do. I mean, I think, and this is apropos via The Many Saints of Newark coming out, but I think The Sopranos, looking back, did it maybe better than any of them by not giving us what we wanted, by just ending it. And I think that solved a lot of narrative problems because, what was going to happen? Like if Tony does get killed by whoever, that feels kind of dissatisfying, kind of like a bummer. If everything's fine and Tony just keeps going, I don't know. I think there's something about, I think we often talk about how a good movie, a good TV show, a good story, we want to start in the middle. And I think sometimes there's a value for ending in the middle of something as well. Yeah. And I think this is why I've always loved British TV series, because they often will have just like a 2-season, 12-episode run. And they tell one story and they have an in and they have an out. But when you have a show like, let's say The Office or something that runs for a lot of seasons, like I just don't think there's a way to end it well. I would say the only show that went for like 10 plus seasons that ended well was Cheers. Don't at me.
Don't at me. Yeah. I always
Hello,
wonder.
Joy to the world in the chat.
Oh my gosh.
Is that our Joy?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, and then Carlos says The View from Halfway Down might be the most compelling episode for an animated show. Definitely, that's a BoJack episode. Manboy Noise started watching Squid Game, but I'll step away for a few minutes if it comes up. I don't want to harsh the chat. No, well, we can avoid it. Evan already called you out there. Dude abides first half of final season of Game of Thrones after that of Winter. Yeah, I mean it's like beyond parody now to talk about how Game of Thrones ended. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I think a common rule with short films that I think it kind of applies to what you were saying before is like, when you're writing the script, you should get in late and get out early, right? And I think that is you're at the most crucial storytelling points there. But anyways, to kind of sum up one of the last comments that I pulled from the adult animation video is basically animation and its association with being safe and kid-friendly allows it to act as a Trojan horse for introspection and self-reflection that most adults would otherwise avoid if it was presented in the traditional and more confrontational manner that it is usually presented in. And that was by Ket the Jovu. And I think that's a really insightful comment. And I really agree with that. The presentation and the form of media and the medium in which, people communicate in is like super, super important and is definitely influential in how you view it. I think City of Ghosts on Netflix is a great kid show that is super appealing and applicable to people of all ages. And especially if you live in Los Angeles or even if you don't, I think that is a series I highly, highly recommend.
Ooh, I need to check that out.
You would. I'm
curious in the chat. Let us know if anyone's watched Teenage Euthanasia. I've not watched it yet. The new Adult Swim adult animated show. I just want to see if people like it.
Oh yeah. That's true.
Well, I guess speaking of Adult Swim based animation shows, we did a version of Rick and Morty season 5 recap. We took the Philosopher Reacts route and we focused on Morty. So looking at Morty's journey in season 5, I think the last time we did a Philosopher Reacts on Rick and Morty, I think was season 4 and was focusing on Rick and Rick's kind of obsession with death in that season. Mm-hmm. So this time we focused on the little guy. He doesn't get enough attention. And we looked into the way in which throughout the season, it really felt like Morty was trying to find himself in so many different ways. So that's what that one was about.
Yeah, a lot of the comments on the video were just highlighting a lot of your reactions, Michael. Kyla B said, quoted, "She said, youch. I don't know why I cracked up when he said that." It was a pretty funny reaction.
I didn't even realize that this is referring to Planetina. But I just didn't realize she came and she goes, "Youch." And I just found that so funny on the day of.
Yeah. Oh, she said, "Youch." Yeah. And then Delver Medina says, "Okay, the little Socrates needed OJ's lawyer joke was hilarious." And then we did have a little pop up of the guy with the hat and all that stuff. And,
yeah, listen, I mean, I just you can't do better than OJ's lawyers. In the history of crime, there hasn't been someone who just has clearly done the crime, who just gets to hang out and play golf in Florida and make weird Twitter videos about how we should get vaccinated.
Yeah, the history of crime. Oh my god. And then Gano Saflady says, That Planetina episode, making Morty mature emotionally while a Kishibashi song plays as the theme to his sadness and turmoil. Like, fuck, man. Yeah.
It was a lot.
Yeah, I think when the show uses music, they're really like they really pull the punches with that one. They're like this is here it is, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the strongest moments in this season were Morty / music moments, because I think that looking back was one of the strongest parts of the season. And then the final scene with Evil Morty and that like Evil Morty theme song they play. I forget what the exact song is. But yeah, I think they did well. And I think looking back to that, I mean, we've talked about this. Season 5 of Rick and Morty, probably not like my favorite, but certain episodes I loved. And I really loved the Planetina episode. And I think thinking back to like what we were just talking about with BoJack Horseman and those shows getting into emotions, like it actually affected me, both the scene that this comment's referring to and the final scene when Morty's with Beth and she's like comforting him as he's crying. Like, I don't know. That's real shit. When you're that age and you feel like someone finally sees you and then you lose that person, it was just very real. So they did a very good job there.
I think for me, the season, it was either last season or the one before it, when there's that song that plays and Rick swaps the two Beths in the two tubes, so you don't know who's real and he doesn't know who's real.
Yeah.
And all real being subjective, right? Like, yeah, that was so... When that song comes up on my Spotify while I'm driving, I'm like, ooh, gotta skip. Might start crying.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Squin just said they finished watching a Finnish movie called Euthanizer that was really good. You know what? I've never really watched Finnish movies, but there's a Finnish director whose movies are all on the Criterion channel. I'm not going to remember his name right now, but I added them all to my list because someone said they were really good. So this weekend, your boy might be watching Finnish movies. RT said, OJ's lawyers definitely out-hustled the state. They worked around the clock and the state had normal salaried workers. So I think RT is saying, if you want to get out of jail, do not respect work hours. John brings up that soundbite from the season 5 finale about Morty being a Gen Zer in late capitalism. Oh, that's a really good point. Wasn't Planetina Allison Brie, who also does Diane No on BoJack? Yeah. Diane when? Sorry. Yeah. Fucking Allison Brie, and she's a part of the Dan Harmon extended universe. And John
Joy also asked if we saw the prequel trailer for Game of Thrones. Did you watch it?
I did. I think it's going to be. I'm going to give a hyperbolic take, and I will be willing to say I'm wrong if it's good. I think it looks like trash that HBO is making just to try to appeal to like the most base level I like Game of Thrones fan.
Sure. Yeah. That's fair.
But who knows? I'm going to watch it. I hope it's good. I would like it to be good. I want more content to distract me from reality, so please be good. But
yeah. Also, John H. watched Over the Garden Wall. That's incredible. An incredible fall animated series. Michael, you should watch it if you haven't. Very quick watch. Very good. Oh, but you don't like spooky stuff. It's animated.
Listen, if anyone, we have a special episode of Show Me the Meaning coming out where I discuss my journey towards spookiness. So check that out when it drops, everyone. Manboy Noise, thank you so much. Likes the Philosopher Reacts. The God's Not Dead reaction was awesome. And then John says, God's Not Dead just released a 4th one. Everyone, I'm not going to lie, like, I brought up wanting to do a whole God's Not Dead series where we just get into all of them.
I mean, at this point, we might as well do it for the holiday season, right?
Yeah. Okay. Let's note this down, everyone, because I'll just be real with everyone. Something we often think about at Wisecrack is how do we schedule things such that we can all take some time off around the holidays. I hope you appreciate that. I hope you all think that's okay that we take some time off because we keep a pretty rigorous schedule. That could maybe be a great thing to do. Just film a bunch of those. This is the thing where we have a live meeting for you all. And Dude Abide says, wanting to watch Titan and Lamb, but they are nowhere near me in theaters.
I think they're
Titan.
It's at the AMC, right? I think both of those movies, at least in Southern California, are in AMC. But again, it is Southern California. However, now that AMC is probably like the most is the dominant theater chain in the country, I wouldn't be surprised if there was at least one AMC, if it was one with like a smaller amount of screens or something, that was showing at least one of those movies. If not now, like in a week or two.
Yeah, hopefully they do come out. And Dude Abides, I know Lamb will probably, I feel like A24 films hit like at least like rental streaming relatively early.
That's true, yeah.
Out of those two, Titan is a confusing and phenomenal movie. Lamb, is a solid movie. I don't want to like spoil anything for anyone. It was very solid. It was very beautiful. It made me want to go to Iceland. Also made me feel really bad about myself because, and this is not a spoiler, but like 10 minutes into the movie, I was just like, oh, this guy's going to fuck a sheep. And in my head, I was like, this movie's about a guy who fucks a sheep. And I'm sitting there self-satisfied. Like, these fools think they're going to get some big thing. Clearly that guy is fucking a sheep. And then he didn't. And then I'm just like, I'm a psychopath. I'm wrong. I'm the one in the wrong here. Because my brain just jumps to bestiality.
Yeah. Even in the trailers, I'm like, I don't think that's what this movie is about.
No, it's definitely not. It clearly isn't. And I clearly was just like, oh, for sure. But it's interesting. It's definitely not a horror film, though, which is good because I went to it as my new thing where I'm trying to train myself to handle spookiness. There were some moments. But yeah, let's see. And Squint says, euthanizers on Canopy. Oh, that's great to know. RT said, for a guy who's not dead, they sure make a point to mention it a lot. Yeah, you would never say about a friend. I wouldn't be like, guys, like, Evan's not dead. No, seriously, for a fourth time, Evan's not dead. Like, if I'm saying that, he's dead. Yeah. I'm running from the police if I'm saying over and over, like, we haven't seen him, but he's definitely not dead. Cool. So was that all the, yes.
Yeah.
Next week, okay, so we talked about Secession. Listen, did this video crush numbers wise? No. But is Succession great? Yes. And if you I never know when Culture Binge actually comes out. I know when we record it. I'm very confused of when it comes. Does it come out on weekends?
It comes out on the podcast? On Fridays.
Friday. Oh, so today, yay. But on this week's Culture Binge, we had the privilege of talking to Allison Herman, who's the TV writer over at the website and media company The Ringer. She had watched 7 of the episodes of the new season of Succession because she got screeners, and she was hyped.
Nice.
Obviously couldn't tell us anything, but so I think that comes out Sunday, right?
Oh, yeah, probably.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, yeah. So awesome. So we have some comments from the Succession video. If you watched Succession, let us know. First one, I'll read one just so Evan doesn't have to read them all, I guess.
Go for it.
This is from Nobody. You know, the society's gone off the deep end when a show depicting the ultra-wealthy needs an on-site wealth advisor, one that in all likelihood makes more money off a single episode than most make in a year to be authentic, and life still sucks for them. Yeah. Wow, this one got a lot of engagement, Nobody. 25 replies.
Yeah. An on-site wealth advisor. Yeah, that just reminds me of like in Silicon Valley, they just got the his spiritual advisor who gets like the nice parking spot and all that stuff. Yeah.
That's so real. All the like most ridiculous jobs are, if anyone ever says they're like an advisor, a consultant, whatever, it's just like not real work that you get paid a ton of money for.
Yeah. Yeah. Whenever I talk to someone that's younger than myself and they're like, oh, I work as a consultant, I'm like, what? Excuse me?
It's like not a real job at all. There was a point when I was in still doing like philosophy stuff where people were getting recruited from PhD programs to work for like McKinsey and do consulting. And I just didn't know like what that meant. So I knew this guy from Denmark who I thought was cool because he was Danish and like really handsome. And I was just like, I wish I was this dude. He ruled. But then he like went to work for McKinsey and I was like, oh, what are you like actually doing? And I thought he was like, cool. He did like a PhD on Kierkegaard. I thought he understood wisdom. And it was just like gutting companies, just like rolling around the world, going into companies, making them more efficient, which literally just meant like getting rid of employees. And it was just like, you spent 10 years reading text by people who sacrifice their happiness to seek out wisdom. And your reaction to that is just like, I don't know, fuck wisdom, get money. I don't know.
Yeah.
And listen, if you just want to get money, but like doing it in a way like that where you just I don't like it.
Yeah. At the expense of so many. Yeah.
Yeah. RT said about Culture Binge, why Fridays? Monday would be good because commuters would have it for the upcoming week. I don't make these decisions. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like I feel you. I get what you're saying. Do wonder that would more. I don't know. Well, this episode's turning into us just doing a bunch of like planning in front of everyone. Yeah. Squin says there's so much out this month. I want to see in theaters. Lamb, Teton, Dune, No Time to Die, French Connection, Last Night in Soho, Halloween Kills. But I'm stuck on my couch in a knee brace.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Sorry, Squin. Hope you're feeling better. and hope your recovery is going well.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is turning into like the wisecrack like shareholders meeting, right? Where we all get to talk about the upcoming few months of planning and scheduling.
I know I'm going to get really deep with it too, everyone. I'm just going to say this. We're filming a new thing today. We're trying something new out. And I just got a message from someone who's working on site who said they're telling the crew that I'm a monstrous diva and they shouldn't look me in the eyes when I arrive. Yeah. So, Halloween Kills is on Peacock. That's great. Yeah, Squint. I bet a bunch of these things you'll be able to find, and especially if you're on the couch in an e-brace and you're willing to pay money to go to the theater. Sometimes it's worth it to say fuck it and pay the small fee to rent the thing if you're really hyped about it. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
We're all gonna die, so spend some money on movies. Carlos says Succession looks like a good show. It is. And PS4 customer says The Take did a video on Succession the day after you guys did. Coincidence? I will find them. I will figure out who wrote that video. I'll go to their house. I will take them in front of their family and everyone who loves them, and I will shame them. No, I think Succession was coming back, so I think a lot of channels that do stuff like what we do, we're just like, hey, let's put it out before the new one comes. Yeah. I'm gonna go check though, and if they got more views than us, I will take YouTube down myself. I will make what happened to Facebook and Instagram look like nothing.
Nothing, yeah. Oh my god! Isn't nice Evan at this? Oh, sorry, yeah.
No, so Evan's at our. I'm gonna dox people. Evan's in our normal studio space. We're trying out something new today, and it's getting filmed at an off-site location.
Yeah.
That didn't dox anyone. But if you're in LA and you can find it today and you show up, I'll pay you $5. They're not going to find it. What are they going to do? How are they going to figure it out? It's a large city. Boy Nice says, I love Culture Binge. Thank you. We like Culture Binge too. Carlos says you should flip out on the production if people don't address you as doctor. No, that would horrify me, Carlos. I might seem like I'm mean or snappy on this, but in real life, I would be like, oh my God, no, please don't say that. Oh, it would make me so uncomfortable. Back to Succession. I guess I'll read one more from Ronald McComb. If everyone has the same problems, you might as well have that breakdown on a yacht. I mean, that's like an attitude that one could have.
Yeah.
It's not unreasonable.
It's not yeah, absolutely not. All right, so TK Wallace, this is a longer comment, but I wanted to just kind of like, summarize it. Is it a portrait of life at the top or a particular family's idea of life at the top? Michael, I'd actually love to see a video from you on the philosophy of money, because I think when most of us look at wealth porn, we're attracted by freedom and not power. That's and great. Yeah, they go on to kind of detail a little bit more about their thoughts there. And then and kind of amended that by saying at the end, was going to say ramen, and the Ramdan scene from Parasite comes to mind. The rich mother needs there to be chunks of expensive steak on her son's ramen. Yeah, what do you think about that? The philosophy of money.
I mean, I think it's brilliant. So if anyone's ever interested in this, a dude that I studied with when I did my master's degree, his name's Philip Goodchild. He's a weird guy, and I think he might have at one point got in trouble for leaving his wife for a grad student, but I shouldn't just say that publicly. But whatever, I said it. And if he did it, not good. If he didn't do it, my bad. But he wrote 2 books. One is called Capitalism and Religion. One is called Theology of Money. And a lot of his research, he's like a philosopher of religion, is about this question. Like, is money about money, or is money just creating a value system, a system of freedom, power, truth, all this sort of stuff? And actually, we do get into this in the Squid Game video. So hopefully TK Wallace checks that one out. If you haven't watched it, this won't spoil Squid Game. This won't spoil it. But, in Squid Game and in the video, we get into some stuff about the relationship between money and religion and God, and the way in which, when people want wealth, they want freedom, they want stability, they want power. Like, I know whenever I think about money, if I ever made a ton of money, I never think about what I'll buy. I often think, oh my God, if I made a bunch of money, I would pay off all of my student loan debt and would have this feeling of freedom. Like, I wouldn't be tied to some amount of money that I owe the government or something like that. So I think there's a lot there. And I do think, I think there could be a video there if we find the right entryway, Although we could maybe just do the philosophy of money. Who knows? Guys, we don't know anymore. We don't know what works and what doesn't. So maybe the philosophy money would work. And that's a good idea. And if we make that video, we will say, shout out to TK Wallace, and we'll show that comment on screen. And then that would happen. I'll try to remember that. But now that I said that, if we make that video and don't, TK Wallace will come and kidnap us all.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, before we move on, RT says, so you're not like the vaxxed and angry guy from the news then? Which is pretty funny.
Oh, for anyone who doesn't know, RT is referring to the time a couple months ago I was featured on CNN as a representative of the angry and vaxxed community. And this goddamn CNN reporter tried to get me to just be like, I think we should put the unvaxxed in gulags. But then I wouldn't because I'm not a nutcase. But, you know, yeah, definitely.
Los Angeles YouTube host.
That was just like both. I mean, talk about a thing where like watching that, I just started like, oh, this is cool. Oh. And by the end was just like, I don't want to be around anymore. But yeah, although big day for the Johnson & Johnson vaccinated. I know we've talked about that in this chat before. I know I have some J&J homies on here. The FDA recommended we all get booster shots ASAP.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So this is, your breaking news show. Dude abides. Now I need to find that clip. It's out there. Okay, so we have some stuff coming up.
Yeah. So active patrons today will probably get the ad-free version of a video about Dune coming out on Monday. Kind of just talking about the book or the series as a whole, as opposed to like focusing on the movie or the upcoming movie. But I'm pretty excited about it. I like the video. Should be in your inboxes tonight.
If anyone comments and says that like the names are pronounced wrong, I will pay a hacker to find where they live. I just want to say we put so much effort in, everyone, to making sure we got everything right to make all the Herbert heads happy.
Yeah.
So I'm excited though. Are you gonna see Dune soon, Evan?
I think so. Yeah. Should I watch the first one?
I gather no. That's what I've gathered. I watched the Lynch one a long time ago. Yeah, I think no. I think I'll watch it. Next on my movie to-do list is Bergman Island, but I'll maybe do Dune after that. Because why would I watch Dune when I could watch a depressing Norwegian film about lovers collapsing and romance falling apart?
Big month for Timothée Chalamet. Big year for Rebecca Ferguson.
Oh my God. Yes. They're out here. I'm excited to see Chalamet, and on Monday I'm seeing French Dispatch.
Oh, that's
and I'm
right.
so hyped on that. So yeah, Dune video, check that out. Next up, and we wrapped this up the other day, we're excited about it. We did a video on Titan. And this is a bit of a flyer for us, friends, because it's a movie that we were really excited about. Obviously, it's won some awards. Critics love it. But like Dude Abides pointed out, it's not as widely available as a lot of other films. But, it's a really smart film. I thought it was cool when I learned that the director, is it Rebecca? What is her first name? Julia Ducournau.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she studied philosophy at the Sorbonne in Paris, which is like the place. Yeah, it's like the hardest place to get into in France to do a philosophy degree. And she studied philosophy and film. So really wisecrack vibes from our bud Julia. But yeah, it was a really intense movie, a lot going on there, and it was really cool to listen to an interview with her from, I was like whatever the big New York Film Festival was that happened recently. And at that film festival, she was talking about, being inspired by a lot of themes from existentialism and sort of like humanist philosophy.
Oh, nice.
And the film is in a lot of ways rethinking what it means to be human, the nature of love, all that sort of stuff. So we're excited about that coming out. Hopefully you guys check it out. Maybe it'll motivate you to see the movie if you can. And if you can't, we're not mad at you. It is what it is. And then in a similar vein, speaking of artistic French cinema created by a moody French existentialist woman who in interviews says things like, I need to go outside to smoke more. We're doing a video on Cartman, Eric Cartman from South Park. So yeah, we're talking about We're going a little bit like, oh yeah, Duda Bide says going to watch her first film, Raw, soon. Yeah, good point. If you are interested in Julia Ducournau, Raw is on Netflix right now. Squin says it's a rough watch though. I've heard. I honestly haven't seen it. Within the first 20 minutes of Titania, I almost threw up in my mouth. So
Yeah.
gnarly stuff happens. But we're doing a Cartman video, and we're asking the eternal question: like, does Cartman have a philosophy? Does that guy have? Does he represent any sort of belief system? And we start where you might think we would start, but we end somewhere different. Wow, what a teaser!
What a teaser! Yeah.
Teasers.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. So that's what's coming up. As you know, we also have some other cool stuff in the pike. One thing I'm excited about, I think y'all will like, is we're working on a video. It's going to be finished soon on multi-level marketing schemes.
Oh yeah.
And the history of those. So I think that will be very cool. We're working on something about true crime, and they kind of ask the question, like, what is it saying about us that we're so obsessed with true crime? I'm excited about that. And then another thing, and this one will be a little bit further down the road, but it's getting worked on right now, on hustle culture. So, if you've ever been told, like, you just got to hustle and work hard and have another job on top of your job, and like hustle pimps don't sleep or whatever, like, we're going to do a video about that. Because we love that hustle life. I don't know. I like working a nice 8 hours and eating a nice meal. So there's some other stuff we're thinking about covering. Maybe we can't. Midnight Mass. Have you watched this, Evan?
No, I haven't. I mean, it's like from the director of Haunting of Hill House, right? It's like another kind of like horror installment on Netflix. But it's a series, right? Not a movie, I think. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Series. I think.
But I think it got kind of dwarfed by Squid Game as far as popularity goes. But I've heard lots of good things. We've talked about it around the office as well. So, Carlos, maybe we'll cover it. We'll have to see.
Yeah. Trying to think of other stuff that's coming out soon that we would maybe talk about. I mean, new Wes Anderson movies coming out. We're not going to make a video about that. I'm. Let's be realistic. We're not. Maybe Show Me the Meaning can cover it at some point. But even those guys will probably be like, no way, Burns. That's some twee shit. But there's some very fun movies coming out. I think October, November are going to be fun. Yeah. Get new Wes Anderson. We get some new PTA. I don't know. So I'm trying to think of anything else that's coming out on any of these services that could be coverable. We're not going to cover, but Only Murders in the Building is wrapping up.
Thank God.
It's been a fun show. It's been fun. It's been fun. I've for better or worse, I've enjoyed it. The main thing I think everyone should be watching, maybe this is transitioning to what we are reading, watching, playing, or as, what does Duda Bides call the segment? What are you?
Yeah.
That's so rad. So we could maybe go into What Are You, but I'll say one thing that I've been watching obsessively.
Oh, yeah?
Is Alone.
Oh, that's right.
I am
you won't stop
clinically obsessed. I can't stop. I've lost Twitter followers because I've now just started regularly tweeting my thoughts about moments in Alone. And I think 4 people are into it. Everyone else is like, what are you talking about? I'm just obsessed with it. I watched the most recent season. Now I've gone back. Just captivating. Let's see. Sorry, where was it? So Duda Bide said, his What Are Ya? He's going to see Halloween Kills. Hell yes. I've heard Halloween Kills. The read I've heard on that is like, is it a wonderful artistic creation of cinema? No. Is it a really fun movie if you like the Halloween movies? Yes. So I think that's what a Halloween movie should be. It should be a fun movie to watch this time of year. So hopefully that's great. Playing Far Cry 6. And I had a barbecue brisket sandwich with coleslaw and fries for lunch. That's king shit. Man Boy Nice says a hustle culture video sounds rad. I think all that stuff is such a grift. Duda Bides, any more anime ideas? That would be an Evan thing, not a me thing. Oh, wow. RT said my 3-year anniversary is coming up. I checked my Patreon. It said I first signed up with Wisecrack October 29th to 2018, or what feels like 30 years ago in COVID time. That's amazing. Wow. Genuinely, thank you for sticking around for 3 years. It means a lot to us. And just know, we talked about this, Nothing happens overnight because there's a few of us doing a lot of things, but we are actively working on our Patreon content. As you know, that there's been a Show Me the Meaning bonus episode. We recorded our first Culture Binge bonus interview that's going to go up on Patreon this week. So, just know we appreciate you. We appreciate all of you for being here, and we will continue within reason to try to make it worth your while. But let's go into what Aria's. Evan, what are you reading?
Yeah, I've been reading a lot of just catching up on some Substack newsletters. So really diving into like Anne Helen Peterson's stuff and what's his name, Mike Danko, I think, or Mark Danko, Danko Land. That's a series, or Alex Danko. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up on his. That's something I think you dig because there's like some type of like economic and like philosophical theories in there that are a little bit over my head, but the way he presents them is pretty fun. So. Yeah. So yeah, trying to catch up on those. I just watched the Steven Soderbergh movie Let Them All Talk on HBO Max last night. I think it's going to convince me to watch all of his movies now because I love the Ocean's trilogy, excluding Ocean's 13, because not the trilogy, it's its own movie. Whatever. We don't have to get into it. And there's also Poorly Drawn Lines. One of my favorite like cartoonists or comics artists. Just got a series on Hulu or FXX, and all the episodes are like 15 minutes. They're all very funny. They're all goofy. So if you need something to kind of watch just for a laugh, those I would recommend Poorly Drawn Lines on Hulu. And I am trying to end my relationship with Pokemon Unite. It's an unhealthy game. Wow. I'm sorry for shilling it on here. Don't play it. I can't stand how much I lose. I have to stop playing.
The first part of having a problem is recognizing that you have a problem. So I really respect that.
Thank you. What about yourself? What are you?
Well, obviously watching Alone. But I'm very excited. I'm going, if our shoot finishes in time tonight, I'm going to go see Bergman Island.
Right.
You know, it's not playing in many theaters in LA, so if you come find me, I will be terrified. But I'm kind of excited about that. Listening, we don't often talk music. I will say this. An album I've been listening to a lot this week is the album Half God by the rap artist Wiki. It's completely produced by a producer, Navy Blue, who is former professional skateboarder Sage Elsner, who's now become a sort of artsy hip hop artist. But it's really good. If you like kind of the sound of more like classical New York rap music, but with a sort of like modern take that's not corny, it's really good. There's a really good song about gentrification on the album, but it's not like a corny song about gentrification. I don't know. I really dig it. Okay. But I don't know. I've been listening to that a lot and I've really enjoyed it. And then I think I'm going to be back on a Mac DeMarco kick because I saw him last night and it kind of ruled. So, nice. And that's good, like fall style music. Reading wise, I, like everyone, a couple of times this past week read the Bad Art Friend essay on the New York Times, which we talk about in Culture Binge. Finally, Fits and Starts finally finished the newest Sally Rooney book, which I liked a lot. And then I've read a bunch of, so in researching the Squid Game video, I started reading this Italian Marxist economist, Maurizio Lazzarato. And now I've just kept reading his books. Very interesting. He wrote a series of books on debt and how debt affects society and people. His most recent book is called Capital Hates You, or like Capital Hates Everyone. A very provocative title. But if anyone's just like, fuck it, I want to read a little bit of like kind of economic theory, but it's like truly kind of accessible. Maurizio Lazzarato is great there. You can make a whole night of it. Make yourself some gabagool, get some Chianti and espresso, have a whole Italian night in. So let's see what we got here. People are saying, Carlos is halfway through Infinity Train. It's superb. One of the best Evan recommendations ever.
Yeah, it only took me a year to get it to you. I'm just saying.
Yeah. No, it's so good. And then, Carlos is eating sushi today with his sister. Love sushi. Nice. Love family. John's first Wisecrack video was Rick and Morty. Awesome. And he's been playing Meteoroid Dread for every free minute. Metroid Dread. Sorry. The text is small and I'm an old man. Squin, watching all the horror movies and Squid Game. Watch the video. Reading Christine, chosen after getting hit by a car. Oh, buddy. Tokyo Ghoul. playing Alan Wake and online dungeon crawl classics like D&D, but cooler. What's cooler than D&D? That's like shots at the whole D&D community. RT, this sounds very good. Ate homemade dirty rice with a side of garlic cheddar biscuits. Reading, is it Hinamatsuri?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Hinamatsuri? Watching Higurashi When They Cry for spooky season. Manboy Noise, first Wisecrack video was a Nietzsche 8-bit video. The first Wisecrack video I saw was an 8-bit video. I think it was the Marks one, and a student sent it to me, and they were like, hey, this helped me understand it, but I wanted to check to see if it's like actually good. And I swear to God, I clicked it being like, oh my God, this is going to be so stupid. But then I liked it. John, for lunch, got to celebrate National Cheese. John, did you get the Culver's cheese curd burger yesterday? Let us know. So for anyone who doesn't know, there's a Midwestern chain called Culver's, famous for their butter burgers and their concretes. And yesterday they did a one-day burger. There was a giant fried cheese curd on top of a burger. So you bit in and it was like fried cheese. And then the burger, I mean, it's literally, I think the reason they only had it for 1 day is because they had it for 2 days. All of the heart attack wards in the Midwest would be full of bodies. But I love cheese curds. Joy of the world. Playing New World. Life changing. Yeah. It's so good.
Joy loves New World.
Episode 30, really going to be the Joy in the Chat episode, you know?
Yeah.
When we look back on it.
Cheese curd burgers today, and I missed it. Oh, John, I'm so sorry. Dang.
It's okay. You'll get them next year. And honestly, John, it's probably better for you because legit, that was going to take a year off of your life.
Probably. Sounds like it. Yeah. Well, should we wrap it up then?
We should. We got a lot going on. I'll just at least acknowledge Squin said, I can't remember if I found Wisecrack, Thug Notes, or 8-Bit Philosophy. All sold out. Great. We should wrap it up. This was 30. In 2 weeks, it'll be 31. I'm trying to think when we're going to get past my age. So we do these twice a month.
Next year or the last one this year?
Yeah, I think it'll be early because we have one more in October. Ooh, it's going to be close. Yeah. It'll either be end of this year, beginning of next year. But then I have a birthday in December. So I think when it catches up, I'm going to jump ahead.
Yeah, so we're either going to end the year on you or we're going to start the year on you, right? Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. We'll finally find. I think the real treat of the patrons for this whole series is slowly finding out how old everyone is.
Yeah, everyone's doing like the napkin math right now. They're like, okay, so if this is 30, what do we need to do? You know, like.
Okay, but truly, thank you so much, everyone, for hanging out. We appreciate your patronage, which sounds silly to say. We appreciate it. We love hanging out with you. But Targle's been here. Just passively listen to it. Take care, dudes. Thank you so much. Love to know that you're here. Even if you're not actively chatty, I know sometimes we got to work because we love that hustle life. Check out Squid Game if you haven't. We got Dune for you next week. As always, check out the podcast. We have some fun stuff this week. Allison Herman on Culture Events talking about TV and a lot of fun stuff. Extra episode coming up for you all. And then a special mini edition of Titan. Well, it's actually a mini edition of a new podcast that Raymond decided to start as a bit. So there's a episode of that coming out that's Raymond, myself, and Amanda Shirker. That's Show Me the Meaning-esque. So check that out, and we will see everyone in 2 weeks.
Yeah, see you guys. Thanks.